I was in the car heading over here to Turning Point. I got on my phone, I texted my wife and said, man, it smells like freedom. And it is great to be here with a lot of people who help make sure that we are going to be a free and a strong country for a long time to come. You know, elections have consequences. You think about where we were 4 years ago. Joe Biden was sitting in the White House. Nancy Pelosi was the Speaker of the House. Chuck Schumer was the leader in the Senate. We were rolling out the Green New scam. We were having inflationary spending left and right. Gasoline prices were going through the roof. Grocery prices were going through the roof. Inflation on its way up to 9%. The federal government was spending millions upon millions of dollars through USAID, the Department of Education, the Department of State, to put woke ideology not just across the country, but all through the world, to tell us that we needed boys and girls sports and we needed men in women's locker rooms. We were a party in disarray. Election integrity was now the cause of concern from one end of the country to the other. And Donald Trump was back down at Mar-a-Lago, and this country was going in the wrong direction. And then a beautiful thing happened. Donald Trump decided he was going to run for president again. And then we went through the 24 election cycle. We saw the greatest political comeback in American history. We were able at the RNC to get out the vote and protect the ballot because of our friends, because of you, because of Charlie Kirk and Turning Point and all of our allies all around the country. We built the first ever election integrity program. We recruited and trained 230,000 volunteers to make sure that they were in the room whenever a vote is cast or counted. We filed 175 different lawsuits around the country to make sure that we had the right rules of the road in place before voting started. We made sure that we were out there talking to low propensity voters. We were going into communities that we had never gone into. Donald Trump was having rallies in downtown Milwaukee, downtown Detroit, downtown New York, the Bronx, New Jersey, downtown Atlanta, downtown Phoenix, downtown Las Vegas. Everybody's like, what are you guys doing? We're talking to every single community. What are we talking to them about? We're going to make America great again. How? 4 pillars of that campaign. We're going to rebuild the economy. We're going to restore the southern border. We're going to keep our kids and our communities safe, and we are going to be the strongest nation on the face of the earth. And because we were able to get out the vote, because we were able to protect the ballot, and because we had the greatest campaign run by the greatest candidate in the history of this country, we were able to win the popular vote. We were able to win all 7 battleground states. We were able to win 312 electoral college votes, and we were able to send the Democrats packing back out into the minority in the House and the Senate and put Donald J. Trump back in the White House. So here we are 4 years later. Not much has happened in the last 6 months, in case you guys missed it. Right? Grocery prices are down. Gasoline prices are down. Inflation is down. The economy is starting to tick. We've seen the southern border absolutely secured. We went from tens of thousands of illegal aliens coming across the border every week to last month, 0. The stream of fentanyl has been shut off. The stream of sexual trade has been shut off. Our border is secure again. The world was on fire 4 years ago. We are making peace right now, and it is peace through strength. You know, peace through strength is not just a pithy campaign slogan by Ronald Reagan. It is the way that Donald Trump sees the world. It is the way that we see the world. It's frankly the way the world sees itself. And when America is strong, the world is a far safer place. And right now, Donald Trump is building peace around the world. And you think about our kids and you think about our communities. We are not going to have boys and girls sports. We are not going to have men and women's locker rooms. We are not going to allow radical campus protests to interrupt all of our university campuses all across the country. In fact, the president has made that abundantly clear and said to even Harvard, if you want to pick this fight, we'll have this fight. You don't want federal funding? Fine, go do your own thing. So what we've seen over the last 6 months is promises made and promises kept. But that campaign that we just went through was so unbelievably important. And you think about how we were able to win that race. Because we talk a lot about mandates and we talk a lot about landslides. But the fact is, we won the general election by about 2 million votes, around 1%. We won North Carolina by 3 points. We won Pennsylvania by 2. We won Georgia by 2 points. We won Nevada by 1 point. Michigan by 0.8 of a point. Wisconsin, 26,000 votes, 0.6 of a point. It's not a landslide in every respect. And our agenda is absolutely not complete. We have a lot more work to do. Now, I've got to give Congress a lot of credit for passing the one big, beautiful bill. When you think about that legislation, it means that we're going to have no tax on tips. We're going to have no tax on overtime. We're going to have no tax on Social Security. We've extended the Trump tax cuts permanently. We also have national security provisions in that bill. We have energy security provisions in that bill. We have border security provisions in that bill. It's an amazing bill, and thank God Congress got it done. But we're not finished yet. We have a lot more work to do, and that gets us to where we are today. Because we can't just sit back and say, hey, we're here. We won. We did a great job. We got the bill done. The president is delivering every day, and mail it in. The Democrats are absolutely unhinged. They are doubling down on the failed agenda that they ran on last time. Every single one of their leaders, Jasmine Crockett, AOC, Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, Zoran Mamdani. People say that the Democratic Party is leaderless. There's your leaders. People say that the Democratic Party is rudderless. Frankly, their rudder is pointed straight left, and they want to take America off a cliff. And what they are going to do for the midterm election cycles is lie, cheat, and steal to the degree that we let them get away with it. And we are not going to let them get away with it. We are going to win the midterms, and we are going to make sure that Donald J. Trump has a 4-year term, not a 2-year term. And when we think about how we're going to win in 2026, it's the same conversation we had in 2024. We're going to have great candidates who run great campaigns. We're going to get out the vote, and we're going to protect the ballot. And that's where you come in. You come in because we can't call every single voter. We can't send out every single piece of mail. We can't knock on every single door. We need you. We need you to go out there and have those conversations. The most important conversation in any election is a 5-minute conversation with an undecided voter where you tell them this is why this election matters. This is why electing a conservative matters. This is why having Donald Trump in a Republican House and a Republican Senate matters. When you have that conversation, it matters. That's why we saw the youth vote the highest it's ever been for a Republican presidential candidate in this last election cycle. We saw that vote because of you. We saw that vote because of the great work that Turning Point does, and every single person in this room, and all of those 5-minute conversations that you had. Yes, we are going to spend a lot of money on TV. Yes, we're going to spend a lot of money in the mail. Yes, we are going to work very hard with all of our candidates to make sure they have the resources that they need. But the fact of the matter is, we cannot win without the grassroots. And we cannot win without the people in this room. We certainly cannot win without our allies and our friends like Charlie and the Turning Point crew. So I'm here to say thank you, because we would not be having this conversation today if it weren't for you. But rest assured, our work is not done. My favorite conversation in the whole campaign that I had with President Trump was the day after his debate with Joe Biden. I gave him a call. And I said, Mr. President, you have the opportunity to have the most effective, transformative term of any president since Ronald Reagan in 1980. He said, well, Michael, what do you mean by that? Well, in 1980, our issues were Russia and China and Iran and inflation. And Ronald Reagan had no playbook. He simply knew the world was going in one direction and we needed to go in a different direction. And he single-handedly pointed us in that direction. That's why Ronald Reagan will always be a hero of mine. But for Donald Trump had a playbook. He had a playbook. It was Russia, it was China, it was Iran, it was inflation. But he knew that we can take America in a radically different position. And having served in that office before, he knew what he was going to face. He knew what the Democrats were going to do, what the deep state was going to do, what the media was going to do. And this time around, we had Republicans in the House, Republicans in the Senate willing to work for him. We had an entire Republican Party, myself included, and Laura Trump, that were ready to fight tooth and nail for him every single day. And what we're seeing right now is indeed the most transformative term that any president has had since Ronald Reagan and far beyond. But we've got to continue to keep it going. If we don't win in 26, 28 becomes very hard. So I am here to ask you, please, continue to stand up, continue to fight, continue to be a conservative, continue to be an activist, continue to work through Turning Point, continue to support our candidates every single day, and make sure that we are going to take this country in the right direction over the course of the next 2 and 4 and 6 and 8 years and beyond. Because you are not the future of the party. You are now the party. You are exactly what we need to be able to move our country forward. And I am grateful for the opportunity to see you. I am grateful for the opportunity to speak with you. But most importantly, I am grateful for the opportunity to work with every single one of you to make sure that America is going to be the greatest nation on the face of the earth and the shining light on a hill for the rest of the world to see. Thank you very much.